everybody. Welcome to the LOCH BRIAR KNITS podcast. This is a knitting podcast. I'm Kelly, your host, coming to you from a sunny Nova Scotia, Canada, which is going to be subject to change by sometime this evening, where it will be not so sunny and we will be inundated with snow and freezing rain. This is your weather podcast. It is Monday, February 15th, and I am coming to you a day later than normal because yesterday was really busy and we had my husband and my stepson here, and it was just too many people roaming around, and I don't like podcasting. There's people in the house. So right now my husband is upstairs in the bedroom, which we've on previous podcast I have discussed my whole downstairs, upstairs, upstairs theory of how the house is broken up. But also I wanted to finish my sweater in 2 weeks, which I did, and we'll talk about that in a second, and get that soaked and blocked so I could actually show it to you on the podcast. So this is, I'm just going to back up a little here. There we go. Because I know I'm going to have to back up maybe even further to show you the sweater. But, so thanks to all the new and returning viewers. To all the new viewers, thanks for checking us out. To all the returning viewers, thanks for coming back again. And look, I have a salt lamp. I asked my husband to get me one for Christmas, which he did. And this is my first time turning it on. I don't actually know the benefits of a salt lamp, but I thought it looked really cool. So I should probably read up on that. I'll read up on that. I'll Google it. It's where I get all my knowledge. So today I am drinking, I'm on a bit of a wild sweet orange kick lately. And this is my mug from my little shop, Canada, which I absolutely love. It's got a little heart. I think I had this one on the last thing, but I'm just going to say, for me, what makes a mug is the handle. And I don't know if you can tell. Let me just try doing it this way. This handle is number one, the optimum thickness, and number two, fits my hand without having a whole lot of room left over, which I don't like, yet not scrunching up my fingers, which I also don't like. It is perfect, and it's got like little speckles, and then the little heart. I love it. I don't think I can have a mug now unless it's handmade. I look at store-bought mugs now, and for the most part, I'm like, And then I see pottery mugs, like handmade pottery mugs, and I'm just like, I need all of them. So I am clearly on a pottery mug kick. Who doesn't like a good mug? I love a good mug. But I really find I'm leaning more towards the handmade variety as opposed to mass-produced. And my two favorite places to get them is every time. Water Dragon Pottery, which I think she's taking a bit of a hiatus, and My Little Shop Canada. So I will try to remember to link those links below, actually, with Water Dragon Pottery. I'll link the link because hopefully she'll be reopening again soon, but if not, My Little Shop Canada has great mugs. I have 2 of her mugs, and I have 3 from Water Dragon Pottery. Anyway, not a pottery podcast yet. That is on my short list of things I want to do when the pandemic and lockdown is over and things return to some version of normal. So anyway, let's get into the podcast because I actually don't have a whole lot of time because I have yarn that I have to finish dyeing. I have a new, I had a company, Darn Yarn, contact me to see if I would be interested in doing a wholesale order with them, which of course I would because I love doing wholesale orders. I find wholesale orders, it's easier in the sense that it's harder in the sense that you have to do a lot of dyeing in a short period of time. But then you send it to the company and you don't have to worry about tracking inventory, tracking sales, shipping cost, all of that. All of that's handled by somebody else. So I really enjoy wholesale orders. This is my second one. My first one was with by Stitchwell. And they were fantastic to work for. They were a new shop that opened in Toronto right before they locked things down again, but they're still doing online sales. So I'll remember to do their link, and I'll do the link for Darn Yarn as well down below. So I'm in the process of developing some new colorways as well. So I will show you some of the new ones that I came up with. And oh, did you guys hear that? It's like this weird air bubble gurgle from my somewhere around this region. So anyway, we'll get to that later. First up, let's talk about the sweater. So any new viewers, me, I'm hosting a KAL called Knit a Sweater in 2 weeks, and I will put the hashtag down below, and a huge package just got delivered to our door. Thank you, Amazon. I have no idea what that would be. I don't remember ordering anything big. So anyway, I'm hosting a Knit to a Sweater in 2 weeks, knit along. Oh my God, I'm all over the place this morning. Based on Marie Green's Knit a Sweater in 2 weeks book, although you can knit any pattern you want. I knit one out of here, and I will show you. As soon as I take a sip from my tea, because it's really good. My new setup has no table here like I used to have, so I will show you the one that I did. So this is the one I did, the Pebble Bay Simple Pullover. And I have to tell you, it was so simple. It was so simple. And this is the best sweater I've ever knit as far as my techniques being the way that I want them to be. But first, let me just see if see how far back I can get here. Okay, so this is it. I think I did this the last time, didn't I? We're finding out how bendy I am. So this is it. It comes right to kind of, here's my hip bone, and it's like literally maybe like an inch below my hip bone, which is exactly where I like it. And then it's got the 3x3 ribbing on the hem. Let me just see if we can do this. So it's got 3x3 ribbing on the hem, which what I did was I put about every, I think 30 stitches, I put a marker, because for me, oop, see how well I can keep this going. And probably for a lot of people, I assume when you're doing ribbing, it's just subconsciously you do 2x2, because I assume, and I'm assuming, but that's probably the one that is used the most. So I thought, okay, because I screwed it up once and I had to go all the way around, and then about a quarter of the way around again of tinking back, which if anybody's watched the podcast for any length of time, no, I hate tinking back. So I thought, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting like just a little stitch marker every 30 stitches. And at this point, I think I had, or maybe it might have been every 40 stitches. No, probably every 30. I think there was 200 stitches on the thing. So I didn't want to get to a point where I was like 3 rows in and then realized I made a mistake, because I really wanted to try to make this as error-free as possible and really try to pay attention to the details and the areas where I normally are the part where I'm like, oh, I wish I'd done that better or whatever on my existing sweaters, like the armholes, picking up the neckband and making like kind of little mistakes. So I put a stitch mark about every 30 stitches so that I knew that if I got to the end of a 30 stitch section and I didn't have the correct, I wasn't on like a purl, that I made a mistake, but I would only have to take back maximum 30 stitches. And once I kind of got doing that, I just got in the rhythm of it, you know, that it was much better. But it was nice to have that there, because there was a couple of times where I got to the end and I was like, oh crap, I went back to doing 2 by 2. And then it's also 3 by 3 on the ribbing. So here's the only error that I made, is you'll notice the cuffs, one is, try to get them, is just a smidge shorter. But actually when I do the sleeves out, they're, yeah, no, it's still a little bit short. It's like a smidge, but it's like that much. So what happened was on this one, yeah, it was this one. I got to about here on the cuff, and I had measured it against the other arm when I started, kind of holding them at the arm where you picked up the stitches, like so right here at this joint, holding them against each other to make sure that I was getting the right length. So I don't know what went wrong exactly, but I got to here, and when I held the sweater up, one sleeve was like about that much longer than this one. Actually, probably about that much longer, because I wasn't finished with the cuff. So I thought, okay, that's too much length that I'm missing for me to just add that to the cuff, because then the cuff would have been like this much ribbing, and this one would have only been this much ribbing. So I ended up tinking back to probably about, well, technically about here. Then I knit up the extra length in the, in just like the stockinette stitch, and then measured it against where this one started, and then I did the, started the ribbing, so that fixed that problem. So there's still like maybe like a row off. I don't think anyone's gonna notice. But the other thing that I did was, let's see if I can show you. Usually here I have kind of the big gaping holes. So, and you can kind of see here, I don't. I don't. Success! So I watched a couple of tutorials, and I don't know why I didn't do that before. Laziness. That. So I ended up watching a couple of tutorials, and then I tried to apply them, and it took me a few times to kind of really get the gist of what they were saying and how I had to do things. So I ended up, I feel like I'm far away now. So anyways, I did end up finally getting the hang of it. And when I picked up the stitches, now I don't have my glasses on here, so I'm making sure I'm not making a liar out of myself. But like you can see, there's not the big gaping holes. Da-da-da. And then the other part I did was along the neckline is picking up neck stitches. And again, I have the same problem when I pick up the neck stitches. Because I would get like gaping holes. So I was trying to figure out, and take that off because I got a glare from the light. So I watched a couple tutorials and then I applied it. And again, it took a couple tries for me to kind of figure out what they were saying. And everybody seemed to have a little bit of a different technique or a little bit of a different way of explaining it. So I was just so it took me a few tries to kind of clue in, oh, okay, this is what you do. So those turned out really neat, like no gaping holes. I was so impressed with myself. So then I soaked it and blocked it, and I made this out of, I can, Still yarns in the, I'm gonna put my glasses on after I take them off. So it's the Echo Andean DK weight. It's really more of a sport weight, but it's 100% Echo Andean Highland wool. And there's 350 meters to 100 grams. So yeah, that's really more of a sport weight. So I did do the swatch, which I talked about in my last episode. And I love this wool, and I have it in like a nice dark sort of mossy olive green. And I think I have a blue, and I think I have one other color, but I can't remember what that color is right now. So there's my swatch when I was trying to decide, because I was using a different gauge, but that was my swatch. So this was I went with 3.75, which I think is what she calls for in the pattern for the DK weight that she used, which is heavier than what I used. But I made the smaller size. So instead of going medium, I went a size up. Instead of doing small, which I normally would have done, I think I went up to the medium, because I was one stitch off in my gauge. I think she had her gauge over 22 stitches and I got 21 stitches. So I bumped it up a size, and it's the perfect fit. Like this could not fit more perfect. It could not fit more perfect. But I had 4 skeins of this. This skein has not been touched, and this skein is only about half used. So this yarn, I got good mileage on this yarn. I could so I basically used like maybe 1 2/3 skein. I'm sure I only had 5 or 4 rather. Let's see. Let's count the ball bands. Yeah, I have 2 ball bands. Oh no, wait, I lied. This one has, so I used 2 full ball bands and then half of this, so 2.5 skeins. Which at 350, oh God, I have to do math. I would say it took maybe 700 meters. Is that yards or meters? Yeah, so I'd say maybe 700 meters of yarn to do this sweater in the medium size, in a sport weight yarn on 375 millimeter things. Needles. Oh my God. Anyway, so that is pretty much, here's the thing. I got it in, so yeah, back to the Kal. I am all over the place. Okay, so the Kal is knit a sweater in 2 weeks. For any new viewers, or if you've skipped some episodes and you're just hearing about this now. The Kal is open from February 1st until March 31st. So you don't have to finish a KAL in 2 weeks to be entered for the prize at the end. But you do have to finish your sweater within the time frame. You can start whenever you want. I started on February 1st and I finished this yesterday. So I made my 2-week deadline. I didn't know if I was going to, but here's what I did. Because I like structure and I like a plan. And I posted this on Instagram if anybody wants to check it out there. All my social media links are down below. What I did was I blocked out the 14 days and said, okay, I have to finish the kind of the front shaping here within X number of days. Then I have to finish, I was going to get like halfway on the body to this date, finish off the body up by this date. I think I had 2 or 3 days to do each sleeve, and then I had 1 day to do finish off sleeve and then do the neckband. And I broke that down like into the 14 days, and then I stuck to that, and I managed to pretty much, I think there was this first sleeve I didn't finish in the amount of time I had, and I forget there was a reason why. I forget what it was. But the second sleeve I had like 3 days to do, 2 of which were on the weekend. So I thought if I don't finish this, I know that I can still have time for this. So, and I knew I wasn't going to need a full day just to do the neckband. So I knew that I had a little bit of wiggle room left in. So now I've still got 6 weeks left of the KAL. So I'm thinking, but here's the thing, in order to actually, because I like to jump all over the place, can you see the glare of the light I have there? The thing that I had to do in order to finish this in 2 weeks was I had to literally knit on nothing else. So that is why I have no whips to show you, because they're in the exact same state they were 2 weeks ago. So what I want to do in the next 6 weeks is pick a second sweater and work on that, but also kind of finish off, because I have a sock project on the go and I have the gratitude hat by You and I Knits. And I want to finish those off. So in the next 6 weeks, I'm going to start another sweater. I think I'm going to do this one, which is the Stowaway Chevron pullover. So it's it's very similar to what I have on. This is literally my go-to kind of sweater. I love just a basic raglan pullover. I find they fit me best. I find they're the most comfortable, they're the most versatile. So here's what I really want to do. I have, this is a worsted weight. This uses Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. But I think, and this one actually, I think if I'm remembering, has some detail. Yeah, here it is. I'll see if I can show that without showing the pattern. It has like this detail going up the side. And it says in the book, 7 to 10 day timeline, regardless of size. So it says, like the other designs in this section, because she has this broken into sections, and this is in the staycation knits, which all my vacations are staycations right now. So it says, like other designs in this section, Stowaway is an approachable project for a 7 to 10 day timeline, regardless of size. So I should easily be able to finish this in 6 weeks. The only problem I'm going to have is this. So I ordered some yarn. So first off, I ordered the Wolfish in the Tweed DK from Hypothesis Yarn that I had said, and I don't think I showed this on my last podcast, maybe I did, but this is like literally my favorite color colorway she has, and she has some gorgeous, gorgeous colorways. So I could use this, but I think I want to use this on a sweater hug by Skein Deer Knits. I think I want to use this for that. So I'm going to hold off using that, which I could probably also, it's kind of the same idea. It's a pullover, but I like the chevron detailing, so I want to do that. And I thought the chevron detailing would show up in a lighter colorway. So here's what else I did. Knit Picks was having a sale, and they have gotten some Wool of the Andes worsted weight, and they've got a lot in their heathered base. So I bought the Amber Heather, which I don't know. Let's see if we can get this. So it's almost like I don't know. It's like that burnt orange color, but it's a little more rustic than that. And it has almost like these amber undertones, and it's a little hard to see. I don't want to take it out of the bag if I'm not going to use it yet, because it's just going to keep it a little more protected. But let's see. Oh, there. That's a good representation. So I got 10 skeins of this, and it's 110 yards for 50 grams. But here's the problem. I couldn't decide what color. So I also got the Shire Heather, which is this beautiful green that's blown out a little, but that kind of gives you that's a pretty good representation there. So I got 10 of those, and then I also got Bramble Heather, which is a brown color. It's a little different, which is hard to tell with the bag. I swear it is. It's a little different than this one. It's almost has more gray undertones. So I got 10 of these. So I'm kind of tempted to use this one just because it's similar to the color that she uses in there, and I think it will show the little detailing on the side a bit better than if I use like a darker color. Although I'm dying to use that green. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be this or the green, I think. And I just knit with brown, so I'm not going to use the brown right away. So that's what I think I'm going to do, is I'm going to take that, the worsted weight, the stowaway, and try to finish that between now and the 6 weeks before the end of the knit along. So if you want to take part in the knit along, there's still plenty of time to jump in. You can do any weight of sweater that you want, so long as it's an adult sweater. You don't have to finish within the 2 weeks timeline. That's just hey, let's try and see if we can do it. And I'm surprised it can be done. I'm surprised I could do it, because it usually takes me a while from start to finish on sweaters. So what other blah, blah, blah. If you're doing it on Instagram, I'll just put the little hashtag here that we have, but you can also do it in the Ravelry group. And then I think we don't have a huge amount of people taking part right now. So I think at this point, there's going to be a 1 prize giveaway, and I'll pick the name from I'll just include anyone who's on the Instagram, who's not on the Ravelry, and vice versa in a 1 pot, and then we'll pick the name. I don't know what the prize is going to be yet, but it'll be something. So yeah, feel free to jump in, check out the hashtag, see what everybody else is doing. I think we have 1 or 2 finished objects so far, so not counting mine, which I have to take a picture of and put in the project page. And yeah, so just jump in, give it a shot. It's like it's fun, especially if you're like just, I don't know, it's just fun. Like, I would go with a heavier weight. I don't know that I'd do a fingering weight. Sport weight I thought was pushing it, so I'm actually surprised. So you know, in 6 weeks you probably still could fit fingering weight one. And I don't consider myself a fast knitter. I would say I'm average. I'm not a slow knitter. I'm just easily distracted. So I really like the idea that I can kind of concentrate on the sweater and get it done, because I know that they talk about, are you a product or a process knitter? And I really enjoy the process, but I want the finished product. So I think I'm some weird hybrid. I don't know. I think most of us are, probably, for a good portion. Anyway. So that's the finished object, all I have to show you segment. What else do I have here? Let's see. Oh, I will show you. I'll show you the new colorways that I've done up. I do not have a name for this one yet. But this is one of the new colorways that I came up with. It's kind of a nice mix of gold and deep purples and teal, and I really, really love how this one turned out. And I tried a new technique with this one, so I was really pleased. I'm going to definitely use that technique again. So this one, I don't know. I haven't figured out a name for this one yet. So if anybody has any brilliant ideas, pop them down below. And then this one is Storm Cloud. So it's tonal. It's a tonal, and it's different shades of gray, very subtly blended. So I don't know how well it's showing up in the, see if I can find a spot that might kind of show it. You can kind of see there's like lighter grays and then kind of darker grays. So this is Storm Cloud. And then this, I have a couple of these, which is a 50 gram. And this is just using one of the gray shades from Storm Cloud that I had left over. So, just rather than waste the dye, I put a couple 50 grams in, and these will be in the shop as a sock set with, I think I'll have one with the purple and one with the bright green. So those will be coming to the next shop update. Some are going to the shop updates, some are going to the wholesale order. So, and then I have some tonals that are coming in DK weight that will be going in the shop, I believe. I'm not sure when the next shop update is going to be, because I'm kind of trying to get the wholesale order done, as well as then also doing some for the next shop update, but I'm hoping to get it done by early March, end of February. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. So that's really about all. Life update is really not much of a life update going on when you're, you know, not going anywhere, not doing anything. I am still reading the Erin Morgenstern book, The Starless Sea. It's really good. Listening to the audiobook in my car when I drive to and from work, by Barack Obama. I think it's the one titled Promised Land. I'm trying to picture I'm really bad with titles. I always picture I can describe the cover. It's his newest one though, and it's so good. It is so good. And I normally, the only time I like audiobooks is if it's nonfiction. I do not like listening to fiction audiobooks, because I find if the narration isn't exactly, I think, how for me I would want to hear it, I can't, it agitates me. But I love audiobooks, especially love audiobooks if it's the person who wrote it that's narrating it. So I have one by Alan Doyle, who's from Great Big Sea, which is a Newfoundland band. That's, well, they're from Newfoundland, but they're well known all through Canada. Maybe the US? I don't know. If not, you should check them out because they're amazing. And Alan Doyle's done some solo stuff. So he's done a couple of audiobooks and he reads them. And I love the sound of his voice. So I got his. Barack Obama narrates his, so now I'm just going to go get all of the other two of his that I haven't read yet, or listened to, because there is just something very calming about listening to Barack Obama. It just makes my world a better place. So, and then what's the other one that I've got in the queue that's also, oh, Michael J. Fox is a new one out that he narrates as well. So I've got that one in the queue. We watched, oh my God, what was it called? It was on Netflix, we watched the one about the hotel in LA. Oh my God, I can't believe I forget the name. You know what the problem is that it was the thumbnail of it in the to be watched thing on your Netflix thing was right next to the one called Crack. So every time I go to think of the name, I think Crack. It was about the Cecil Hotel. Anyway, it's new out. It's there. It was good. It was well done. But the thing that really irritated me, and it wasn't the story itself, it was the people on the internet that would just like they decided this one guy was guilty, or that there were these conspiracy theories and everything, and they just kind of were so sure that they were right, and there's a huge conspiracy, and you know, the coroner was in on it, and blah blah blah, and there was all this stuff, and it was just like, you guys aren't looking at the facts. You're just going off on these tangents, and I found that really irritating. I'm just like, simmer down, people, just simmer down. Like, anyway, so that was a little annoying. And what else did we watch? We're still watching Community. I finished watching the 4th season of This Is Us, and now I can't wait for the 5th season. I don't know when. I don't even know if it's out on TV yet. But I'm totally addicted to that show. I finished 1 season, and I want to go back to the start and just binge watch the whole thing, all 4 seasons all over again. And that's really about it. That's all we've been watching. We're in the last season of Community. I think that's about it. I don't think we've watched anything else. I am like totally hooked on slow living YouTube videos. It started like during the pandemic, and now it's just because there's nothing for me like the idea of living kind of a quiet life, like living out anywhere near nature, being outside of the burbs, which if anybody has watched my any of my videos, usually about every 5th or 6th video I'll mention about how I hate living in the burbs. I want to be the schooner house that we usually go to on the weekend that we share with my father-in-law, but he's in Toronto now. Is out like outside of the city, and outside of it's not in the burbs. We've got like plenty of space. We're separated from our neighbor by these 2 like tree belts. It's right on the water. The lane in front of us, the house is recessed, but the lane that we take to get to the house is a private lane, and it's a dead end, so there's not traffic on it. It's just, and when you're there, everything just slows down. Everything just slows down. And I love it. And it's like tranquility to me. So I keep trying to figure out how I can kind of bring that feeling back with us when we come back here and we're, you know, rushing with work things, and you're just trying to keep the house cleaned and things get cluttered. Like if you could see this room here right now, it looks like a bomb went off like all through here. And I'm just itching to declutter. So I've just kind of been binge watching these slow living vlogs, just I think because I watch those and I'm just like, yes, okay, I know this is what I want, and trying to figure out how I can sort of translate that into living in the burbs and working 5 days a week and running a small business and having a writing career and still not losing my mind. So that's kind of something I've really been kind of spending time with and trying to figure out how to translate, you know, one way of living with kind of how we have to live right now to a certain degree, and figuring out how I can blend the two so I have more of one and less of the other. Or at least an even split, so that I'm not feeling so like stressed and anxious all the time about trying to get everything done and just like work shit and, you know, all that. So that's about, and that is really about it. So I'm going to let you guys go. I got to get this edited and uploaded today. I've got a little footage from the week that I just kind of filmed. We had a big old snowstorm, I think this time last week. And so we had plenty of snow down, and I took the dog to the duck pond, and just a couple little things there that I'll probably add at the end or the beginning somewhere. And that's about it. So I'm going to let you guys go. I am going to possibly cast on my next sweater today. I should leave it for tomorrow. I'll probably get it cast on today, and then I will kind of concentrate on the hat and the socks and try to make a little progress on those today, and then pick up the sweater tomorrow. So until next episode, what's this? This was episode 91. I don't know if I said that. I think it's 91. So until next time, probably about 2 weeks time, I will let you guys go, and happy knitting. Don't forget to check out the KAL and take part. Still plenty of time left. And until then, happy knitting, and I will see you in 2 weeks. See ya.